IELTS Classic Listening Comprehensive Test 4. Instructions 1. You will listen to an audio recording of all sections of this test and answer questions on what you hear. 2. You will have some time to look at the questions before listening to the audio recording of that section or subsection. 3. The audio will start playing immediately after familiarizing yourself with section questions. 4. You will be answering questions as you listen to the audio because it will be played only once. 5. Immediately after the audio recording for all sections, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between two students from Ielts Academy discussing the performance of one of them. First, you will have 10 seconds to look at questions 1 to 4. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays. Ielts Academy Students Conversation.
Good morning, Jason. How are you faring with your academic work? How did you perform this term? I remember the previous term you beat me in performance by far.
Good morning, Karina. I don't even desire to talk about my performance. I was not able to attain the score I had promised myself.
I feel sorry for you. What was your expectation?
I am usually an excellent performer, but being an average achiever is very frustrating.
Sure, it is. Where did things go wrong?
I may not be able to identify the root cause of my decline in performance, but I can only speculate.
Tell me more about your speculation. Did you get more challenges studying, or rather time management? What really happened?
I might have encountered situations of time pressure. You could be right.
I know you are a bright student. That for sure is my perspective about you.
It has really been difficult to sustain the feeling of my failure.
Come on, Jason, you're taking your failure with an excessive amount of heat. I do know it's a great disappointment to get a grade below what you expected. However, you should not permit it to create a pessimistic attitude in your mind.
It is all very well for a lucky lass like you, Karina. You passed and you'd not feel cheerful if you were in my situation.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, take 20 seconds to look at questions 5 to 10. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
I know, but you must recompose yourself together, and rejuvenate your mind towards success. You will pass next time. Remember the ancient proverb, if you don't succeed, try again.
I think the other version of the saying has more sense to it. If initially, you don't succeed, quit at once.
Let me ask you one question, Jason.
Here I am. I will respond to your questions as soon as you drop them.
If you quit, what will you gain from it? And if you determine to make a change in your studies and ultimate performance, what will you gain anyway?
Oh my God. It is like you are cutting me into pieces and igniting my thinking like clever prey.
Come on, Jason. Which of the two will suit your future most?
I thought I should just opt to give up. But then you have put a strong perspective of looking at things. That option won't serve me any better.
Now you know. I rather advise you to put the past into its resting place and start a new journey altogether. That is the rule of champions.
That is indeed a great perspective. I am grateful we talked about this. It was almost killing me.
Yes. Sharing is healing. So you know. And that is why friends are for.
True. I just realized how important it is to share some stressful situations with genuine friends.
Remember, a friend in need is a friend indeed.
I was contemplating dealing with the situation on my own, but it has been overwhelming since the results were posted.
That is pure nonsense. For you to prosper, you must persevere and soldier on.
This term has been very challenging for me. For the last 4 days preceding the final examination, I was down with malaria, and I could not prepare well. My timing was lost.
Well, that was the situation of your bad luck, but if you change your attitude, you will excel in your forthcoming examination.
I wish I had your willpower. Still, I will take your advice and put more effort.
That's the way forward. And I am sure you will register a better grade next time.
You have injected a new feeling of energy into my mind. I think I feel like a stronger soldier in my academics.
I trust in your willpower, Jason. You don't have to let a seldom situation demolish your future.
Thank you very much, Karina. Indeed, you made new dawn in my academics. I was depressed and so low in morale. I am trailing in the opposite lane right now. Thank you once more.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers for questions 1 to 10. Section 2. You will hear Anderson, a local tour guide at Mapatano Township, giving an introductory note to a group of guests who are planning to tour the town. First, you will have 18 seconds to look at questions 11 to 16. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
Mapatano Township. Good morning, guests. Welcome to Mapatano Town, which is the biggest town in the county of Bright Star. The word Mapatano is historically derived from the reconciliatory meeting that was held at the historical bridge during the colonial era. It means reconciliation, or rather a memorandum of understanding. We are going to take a 45-minute driving tour within the town, and I will show you some of the landmarks and other places that you might want to know. Now, we are starting off at the Street Karina Medical Center, CMC, which is where we are right now. Identify this location by an arrow at the bottom of the tour map. To the east of the medical center is the textile factory with a tall chimney. This is where the processing of raw cotton takes place, and it has provided employment opportunities to hundreds of youths who live within Mapatano and its environs. From the textile factory, we will head further north, past the Sokok Forest through T Road. There is a Kika estate to the north of the forest. The estate is the permanent residence of most people who work at the textile factory. To the right of the estate is Echo Cotton Farm, which is the main source of raw materials for the textile factory in Mapatano Town. To the northwest of Karina Medical Center, you see a large compound, and that is Jubilee Elementary School. That is rated to be the best school nearby for young scholars. Most teachers live within as they are accommodated at the teacher's residence located to the south of the school. The town relates to other neighboring cities through Intercity Road, which runs from the southwest to the northeast. It intersects with the biggest river in town, River Ntsiuni at Freedom Bridge, named after the historical meeting at the bridge by freedom fighters. This mega river is fed by 4 tributaries you can see on the map. From west to east, starting with River Saskia to the west of Wangari Maathai Forest, followed by rivers Malays, Miguna and River Umoja at the far east respectively. To the south of Wangari Maathai Forest is Azamio Open Market. Residents in this area like a lot of trading and they successfully trade with neighboring cities and major estates. The market days are Fridays and Tuesdays. The market is surrounded by several shops and social amenities. There are two major banks in the marketplace. Equity Bank seems to be the most popular, but to the south of it is Cooperative Bank, which is a great competitor in the banking sector in this township. There are also several banks including Family Bank and National Bank with branches within the city.
Before you listen to the rest of the narrative, take 15 seconds to look at questions 17 to 20. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
I hope you have been able to understand the main topographical profile of the town. I now wish to briefly talk about the socioeconomic perspective and activities of the residents. Most residents are Christians, and about 30,000, who take 25% of the population, are Muslims, and a further 10% belong to other religious groups. The city is cosmopolitan with residents coming from all parts of the country. Residents coexist very well and share common cultural festivities amicably. A lot of economic activities take place besides retail business. Subsistence farming is common owing to the beautiful landscape, nice water catchment, and rich soil. Industrial activities mainly include textile value addition, bottled water processing, and fresh juice packaging. The informal sector thrives a great deal, including recycling metals and plastic containers. Cattle farming is highly valued, though there is no factory for processing milk products. The neighboring town serves the farmers in this, though the locals long to have their own. Education is highly valued in the city, and many professionals on the national map have come from this town. The schools in the city mostly employ teachers from the local, but about 15% of academic staff serving the community come from other cities and towns. The Nsiuni River is a major promoter of economic activities in the area, and more so a strong attraction to local tourism, and to about 10% of foreign tourism. There are fishermen who fetch fish from River Nsiuni. The fish is sold to the local market and to other consumers all over the country. It provides water that supports subsistence farming too, for crops like maize, beans, rice, vegetables, bananas, and tomatoes. It plays an important role in alleviating conditions such as flash floods by absorbing excess water. It also provides habitation to many organisms, ranging from small, unicellular creatures to insects, vegetation, fish, and mammals. And it's a breeding ground for rare and exotic species of plants. It also serves as home to ducks, beavers, otters, and other creatures that construct shelters along its shorelines. That marks the end of my introductory note. I am sure you will discover more as you explore.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers for questions 17 to 20. Section 3. You will hear a radio interview conducted by a Royal Media radio studio host and the director of Craft Girls High School at a Friday's Tea Time talk show. First, you will have 15 seconds to look at questions 21 to 25. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
Good morning, Mr. Moses Omar, and welcome to Friday's Tea Time talk show.
Good morning, sir, and thanks for inviting me to this exciting show of national importance.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to your weekly popular Tea Time talk show where we discuss and dissect matters concerning our life in the village, across the countryside and urban areas. We discuss virtually all matters, though you may not hear much about politics and religious lifestyle. Here in the studio today we have Moses Omar, the director of CRAP Girls High School. Of late the school has been making national news as a center of innovation, and an epitome of academic excellence. To start with, I welcome our guest to tell us more about the great news of National Shield Innovation Award.
Listeners, the recently ended National Secondary Schools Award ceremony came to us as surprise.
Why did you find it a surprise?
Yes, of course. We never expected to perform that high. We have of late been very innovative in teaching methodologies, laboratory settings, and our teachers have been a selection of the top cream of the society. They have been in the forefront of supporting innovation in the school.
But I think CRAP has a long history, doesn't Moses?
The year was 1952, in pre-independent Kenya. At the time it was named the Duchess of Gloucester School, named after the late Hans Petra, Duchess of Gloucester. At the time, the school had a purely Asian population, a community that lives, to this day, around the Mvita, Nkura area in Nairobi.
That means 80% of students were Asian as rumors fly?
Not really, but about 15% lower than that.
How did the trend change from that situation?
In 1973, the school was renamed CRAP Girls High School, and the enrollment of African students steadily began.
Is the school exclusive day school or exclusive boarding?
Actually, it was initially a girls' day school, but was converted to a boarding school in 1984. From that period, it was then considered a provincial school.
And what is the performance of the school?
Since 1990, CRAP Girls High School initiated an exponential steady rise in performance to a top-performing high school under the directorship of Bahati Gatana, who has since retired.
What records is the school popular for in the last decade?
The school's unfailing high performance over the years paid off. It was certified as a national school in 2013 to offer more Kenyan girls a higher quality of secondary education. It was a National Drama Festival Award holder for 3 consecutive years, and students from the school have been top choices to Kenyan universities and abroad.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, take 15 seconds to look at questions 26 to 30. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
What's the school population?
There are about 1,800 girls in the school, and the holding capacity is 100 more than that. So, we can confidently say we have more space and could admit more. Many of the students come from 3 neighboring counties: Kiambu, Machakos, and Kajiado. However, about 40% of student population are from the rest of the regions of the country.
Is the school open to applied optional subjects?
We share applied laboratories and learning centers with the sister school, but most applied subjects are taught indoors.
Tell us more about the applied optional subjects taught at the center.
There are 4 applied optional subjects including business studies, agriculture, French, and computer studies. For students registering for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination, KCSE, it is mandatory to have a total of 7 to 9 subjects, applied options inclusive.
How much is the school fees per year?
The center has not disclosed its current fee to the public. Therefore, one is required to visit the institution to get accurate information on school fees. However, as per the national school's fees structure, institutions in its category are supposed to charge an annual fee of 65,456 shillings.
What does the future look like for the school?
Our mission and vision for expansion and innovation are just at the very beginning. Soon we envision being the center of excellence in applied information technology for education.
How does the school perform in sports and extracurricular activities?
We are not left behind. The athletics team excelled to runners-up in the just concluded Kenya Secondary School athletic competitions. The rugby team remains the team to beat in the county, and the soccer girls team is very promising and will soon appear on the national map of excellence.
What is the last word you may wish to share with listeners?
I wish to address parents and guardians. Our school is top in discipline, and we have more space for you. Let us join hands and bring up national, who we will be proud of.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers for questions 26 to 30. Section 4. You will hear a university geography professor lecturing students about cartography. First, you will have 20 seconds to look at questions 31 to 35. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
Cartography. The study and practice of making and using maps is referred to as cartography. Cartographers build on the premise that reality can be modeled in ways that communicate spatial information effectively by combining science, aesthetics, and techniques. The traditional relationship between geography and maps is appropriate given the discipline's concern with space and place. The persistence of cartography as a subdiscipline of geography within most academic settings is ensured by the symbiotic link between geographers and maps. The cartography field has changed enormously during the past 3 decades, mainly due to the widespread availability of computers. New forms of symbolization such as animated maps, customized maps for individual users and interactive maps have been made possible by computers and new methods for scientific visualization and spatial data analysis. Geographic cartographers have made particularly available contributions to the advancement of automated mapping systems. Their research on map reading processes, map production techniques, cartographic generalization, and cartographic design has facilitated the automation and formalization of what had been a native manual procedure. The research on map reading processes, map production techniques, cartographic generalization, and cartographic design by geographic cartographers has facilitated the automation and formalization of what had been a native manual procedure. Some of the most interesting and potentially useful investigation done by geographers today is in the realm of dynamic cartography. Animation enables the picturing of changes in phenomena across space, over time, and in attributes of the phenomena themselves.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, take 20 seconds to look at questions 36 to 40. Listen carefully and answer the questions as the audio plays.
The earliest animated maps of the microcomputer era showed the spread of AIDS at the county level in Pennsylvania, 1989. The intention of this dramatic description was to inform and educate healthcare researchers and the general population. Geographers have led the way in the investigation of another new cartographic format, that is, electronic atlases and atlases on CD-ROMs. Electronic atlases and associated geographic programs are already proving to be real in educational settings, especially at the kindergarten through grade 12 levels. As national principles for geography education are advanced, educational aids such as electronic atlases will become essential. Ancient Greeks created the earliest paper maps that were used for navigation, and to show certain areas of the earth. The first cartographer to draw a map of the known world was Anaximander in ancient Greek. Other well-known Greek mapmakers were Hecataeus, Herodotus, Eratosthenes, and Ptolemy. The maps they drew were based on explorer mathematical calculations and observations. The ancient Greek maps are significant to the history of cartography since they often showed Greece as being at the center of the world and surrounded by an ocean. Other early Greek maps show the world as divided into two continents, namely, Europe and Asia. These ideas came largely out of Homer's literature as well as other early Greek works.
That is the end of test audio recordings. You now have half a minute to check your answers for questions 31 to 40. Then have 10 minutes to transfer all your answers to the answer sheet.
Thank you for trusting Glovinets for your learning needs. This audio was designed and presented by the information technology experts of CLARION Technology. CLARION Technology offers services including website design, e-learning content, voiceover, animations, e-commerce solutions, mobile apps, hospital management software designs, and many exciting IT solutions. For more information, contact us on www.clarionwebmasters.com or email us on info@clarionwebmasters.com.